Alright, in this video we are going to add a heads-up display as well as controls to our player. So where I left off last time is I have my fly and he's idling. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add another layer on top. So I'm going to come down here to my game layer, going to go to add layer on top, and I'm going to call this HUD or heads-up display. On this layer, we're going to insert two new text objects. So right click text object, make sure it's this one for text. And the first one we're going to call lives text. You could come over here if you want. You could change this to lives. And to be honest, I'm going to come here and just color it white already. Make it smaller. And then the right click for score text. I'm going to optimize my screen space here. Okay. Going to the text object, and I'm going to call this one score text. I double left clicked, score. And I will turn this white as well. Cool. Style these pieces with white font and position in the top corners. Did that. Add a new sprite called Lives Bar. Okay. Right click in the frames area of the animations editor. Oh, down here, right click. We could go to import frames from strip. And then we're going to select the lives file found in the extra assets. So I'm going to go back to picnic party assets. I think it was in sprites, extra assets, lives. Split the cell into 4. And I'm going to delete that 0 placeholder. Delete frame 0 since there's no need for 2 empty frames. There we go. Cool. Close the animation editor. And move the sprite next to the word for lives. So here's my sprite, here's lives. I'm going to come down here and change it to initial frame 3 to give me 3 lives. Okay, create another sprite and call it camera. We will leave this blank on the screen, but we will add the scroll to behavior for this blank object. So I'm going to close this. I'm actually going to make it smaller just so I could not have to worry about it. And then I'm going to add the behavior of scroll to. Sweet. That's it. That is my heads up display. I'm actually going to lock this just so I don't use it again. We're going to add controls to our player. Be sure to add the keyboard and mouse object to the game. So keyboard, mouse. Begin by adding an instance variable to the player called state. So player, add an instance variable. We're going to call this state. Change it from a number to a string. This means we're going to input pieces of text rather than numbers. Add 8 direction behavior to the player. So, player. You might struggle. I'm actually going to come over here onto my player layer. I guess the layers probably only matter for the layout. But we're going to add a new behavior to this. 8 direction. Style the behavior with all of these ideas. So player, 8 direction. Yeah, since I'm struggling, here we go. So what I needed to do was click on the player layer, and then that like unfrosted all of these options. So max speed 256, acceleration 1500, and you could change these as you will, but this is just, what Mr. Bailey created as his standard. I'm sure there's lots of really good math behind it. Change the drop-down menu to set angle to no. If you forget this, the fly is going to move all over the place. Check the box to allow sliding, which will allow the fly or the player to slide. Uncheck default controls in order to disable the keys. Okay. Add the bound to layout behavior. In the event sheet, begin by creating and initializing 2 global variables. One for score, and we start off with a score of 0. And then one for lives, and we start off with lives of 3. Create a group for controls. Right click, add a group for controls. In this group, you're going to create 4 events. Keyboard on key pressed. Keyboard on key pressed. You could also do, I think, on key pressed. I think when key is down is going to be better. On key pressed, we're going to do key is down, because otherwise you would just press it once. So we're going to do key is down, and we're going to do W. So when the keyboard is down, check right here. We're going to right click. We're going to add another condition to our player, and this is going to be compare instance variable. We're going to say if the state is active. So if W is down and our state is active, that means we're going to simulate the fly moving upwards. Simulate control. Up. I'm going to click right here so the whole thing is highlighted. And I'm going to Control C, and then Control V, Control V, Control V. Notice it didn't go into my control group, so I'm going to make sure it goes. And now I'm going to modify accordingly. So ASD, this is going to be A, this is going to be S, this is going to be D. If A is down, we're going to go left. That makes sense. S would probably be down. This is going to be to the right. Set mirrored is going to be like if the fly is going to the left, it's going to take all of our animation frames and flip them. So mirror them to the left. So that's a really cool new thing that we're learning here. So player, this is going to be here in the animations. No, appearance. set mirrored. And then down here, we will do set not mirrored. Okay. Notice the additional actions for the left and right. These actions will reflect the image. And that's it. Play your game and make sure it works. AWS. Mine doesn't work. See right here how active is in quotes? I'm going to get rid of those. And it works! Great. That's it.